Hello and welcome to Morningstar. I'm Emma Wall and I'm joined today by Simon Gergel, manager of the Merchants Trust, to give his 3 stock picks. Hi Simon.
Hi, Em.
So what is the first stock today?
The first stock is GlaxoSmithKline, which is clearly a large pharmaceutical company. The shares have been under a lot of pressure for several years now as they've had disappointing growth in their new products from their pharmaceutical trials, and some of the existing products have gone off patent. But I think it's a really interesting time. They've done 2 deals with Novartis last year, and now 40% of the business is in consumer health and vaccines, where they are world leaders, and that's 40% of the sales. And those are businesses that have high barriers to entry, really strong brands, strong growth prospects, and limited competition to some extent. So I think those businesses should grow. And the rest of the business, the pharmaceutical business, is now at a stage where I think from here it can grow as well. So overall, you've got a company at an interesting stage in its development, and on quite a low valuation and a very good yield.
And how reliant on emerging markets is Glaxo with that growth? Because we're having quite a tricky time in emerging markets at the moment.
Yeah, they're reliant on the consumer side of emerging markets. So whether that's consumer health or vaccines, but these are very low price points and incredibly important for the health of the community. So one of the best ways to improve the health of any country, but particularly in a developing country, is to vaccinate children, to vaccinate in some cases adults, and also to provide basic essential healthcare products, which Glaxo provides. So they're not at the really high price end where you could see problems. They're really at the basic important product end, if that makes sense.
And what's the second stock today?
The second stock is United Business Media. This is predominantly an exhibition and events company now after changing the portfolio. And we really like exhibitions and events. These are must-go-to events for people in the industry. So a leading event has little competition in that area. It's very hard to set up against them in competition. There are growth opportunities, both from the industry gradually growing, but also you can take an event from one country to another. The cash flow is very strong because exhibitors pay well in advance to be at the event, and the return on capital is really high because there's limited investment needed to run the events once you own them, once you've built them up. So for all those reasons, we think this is a strong company with high barriers to entry to competition and decent growth prospects. And the valuation is very modest because of the history of United Business Media. It's been through a lot of change in the last few years. Investors haven't yet given it the full benefit of the doubt for what they've achieved in terms of restructuring the business.
And is it reliant on sort of economic health? Is it reliant on other businesses having the money to spend to attend these conferences? Because it is the sort of thing that you would cut when business is not exactly booming.
It's not immune to the economic cycle, and but it's very well diversified across different industries, from construction to jewellery, a wide range of end markets, and so that smooths it out. But it's also not deeply cyclical because they focus on the leading events. Even in a downturn, most companies will still send people to the big events because those events drive their business. They drive sales, they drive marketing, and they drive the companies forward. So they're important for the end customers, which is why the leading events are so much better than secondary and tertiary events.
Spend a little bit of money, get a lot in return.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what's the third and final stock?
The third company is Inmarsat, which is a global satellite communications company. They are leaders in the marine communications for ships. But they also do communications on aeroplanes. You're seeing more and more Wi-Fi on business jets, and also even on more economy class travel. People want Wi-Fi increasingly, and they also do land-based communications. And the interesting thing here is they've just put up a new fleet of satellites, the next generation, which is driving much higher bandwidth. And we all know that we like to spend more time, using our mobile phones and watching TV online and so on like that, so forth. And so this bandwidth demand is strong. You're seeing good growth. Again, there's very high barriers to entry in this area because it's really, you've got to have spectrum, you've got to have licenses, you've got to have a satellite fleet, and you've got to have customers. And so it's really well protected business, and we see good growth prospects.
Simon, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
This is Emma Wall for Morningstar. Thank you for watching.